picking your orchestra, think about your instruments. So here's what'll normally happen. Okay, so you're going on to a website and you're looking for storm sound effects. You know, there's 100 different wind sound effects, for example. Okay, so here's some wind. Okay, here's some other wind. All right, it's kind of wimpy and lame, right? Okay, well, how about this one? Okay, that sounds pretty good. That's a pretty good beefy one, right? Okay, so you download that sound effect. Okay, then you want to move on to your thunder strikes. Okay, so you hear this one. Well, that thunder strike isn't too very big. You want a nice big sound effect here. Let's hear this one. I kind of like that one. It rolls off. It has a nice ending to it. That's a pretty cool one. Oh, but then I stumble across this one. Ooh, that's a big, nice thunder strike. Okay, so you've searched through all the sound effects libraries and you found a section of really great sounds that you like to use. You've got some great wind. You love this wind sound. It's just nice and bassy. Yeah. Okay, then you found your thunder strike height. It sounds really nice and... Oh man, that's just gonna rattle the speakers in the theater, right? Okay, so now watch what happens when you would combine these two. So you take your wind, drop it here on the timeline, take your wind, sounds really good. And then we take our thunder strike height. Now watch what happens when you combine these two together. It barely reads. You know why? Because you're using the same register. The sound of the wind and the sound of the thunderstrike are basically using the same notes within your music. If you're using, say, bass guitar, if you wanted to really accent a certain point in the song, you don't add another bass guitar. You'd add like an electric guitar or a drum hit, something on a higher end register. So if you wanted to really make this stand out, what you would do is maybe try this wind here that's got a higher end register. Okay, so here's your higher end. Now watch, when you do this, delete that. So here's your wind. See, it's much more, it stands out much more. So if you really know that your thunder strike is gonna be something you wanna accent, come in here with some harsh mountain wind that's using a higher register. Boom, it just comes right in underneath. And suddenly you have something a lot more powerful. So think about that when you are picking your sounds. Now, remember too that when you're going through these sound effects websites, you use more sounds than you think you need. You will use them, I promise you. Even if you don't use them on this particular project, you'll probably end up using them eventually. I mean, heck, if you go to a place like Sound Dogs or Sound Rangers, they're a couple of bucks per sound effect. It's not that much money. You might spend $30 on getting all your sounds and you're good to go. You've got a nice wide spectrum to play with. Make sure you get some fringe sound effects. Okay, so we've got our thunder strikes, we've got our wind, we've got our rain. But what else can we do? Because a thunder strike is always going to sound kind of the same. Well, what if we wanted to accent a different kind of explosion? Right? If you wanted to show a lightning strike, like see in our timeline here, we've got Mom, lightning strike hits, she yells for him, and now a lightning strike hits right next to her. What if we wanted to really show you how powerful that was? Something like this sound effect, an explosion might be better. It has nothing to do with lightning, but it just gives you a different range of sound. Here's another one on the surface of water. In our project here, The Perfect Storm, I wanted to have a tornado going, and I listened to several tornado sound effects, which I did end up buying, but I also I found this sound effect, which was a building collapsing, and it had so much depth to it. It was great. Listen to this. Yeah. That's really, you start to add that in when the tornado really starts to get strong, and it'll really help you out later down the road. So think about the fringe sound effects, something else completely not in where you're searching, but in a different search category that might help really add whatever you're trying to create. And that said, once you find things that are in the right realm, definitely something that you need in your toolkit are whooshes like these. You know, different, that's called a dramatic whoosh, or just different kinds of whooshes and booshes. And what I always try to get, I use this all the time, is a subwoofer rumble. There's no better way to accent a cool movement other than one of these. If you listen to movies in good theaters, you'll hear it all the time. Big, deep subwoofer rumbles. They're really great. Reverse whooshes. And there's no better way to accent a great big moment in a film or with your piece of music than with something like this. Bang! You hear a big sound effect, right? Boom! The big sound effect happens. That's how you really plan to execute these moments properly. So now we have our orchestra picked, okay? We've got our good array of sounds, and now we are ready to start sound designing our actual project. Now, next time we will actually go through and we will build this vlog for you. But now you can get started. You can start building your own instruments and play with it because it's really fun. You'll be totally amazed at how much better your project is going to be. Even if it looks terrible, you're going to be amazed. And people, I promise you, will start to comment on, wow, the project sounds really good. I couldn't look away. That's the key. Well, I'm Jason Satterlund. Thanks for watching. Make sure that you subscribe so you can see more vlogs. You can see the little subscribe button right here. You can come on over here for more vlogs. Check out Making a Storm Part 1 and 2. You can also follow me on Twitter at bigpuddlefilms.com and on Facebook, Big Puddle Films. Have a great one, and we'll talk to you soon.